Are we good? Are we live? Let me refresh. Make sure sound is off. Chat is on. Let's see. Get this thing going. Let me refresh again. All right. Now we are good. Looks like we are live. And wait for people to get in. We can do some shout outs to begin with, and then we can get on with the show. Our main topic: top 5 mistakes new eBay sellers make in 2017. Deformity Shot, what's up? Shout out there. And let me see if I can get everything going here. Everything, got my notes up. That's what I like to do. I think I've gotten pretty good response so far in the last couple of live chats, getting my notes up, exactly what I want to talk about, going through, top 5 or top 10s or things like that. I think it's pretty cool and definitely some info I can use later on. So Chris, what's up? Zachary, what's up? Leisure Picker, playing video games instead of listing, right? Zira says yo, and Aquapro Service says Glenn, love from San Antonio. That's what I like to hear because we're going to be talking about San Antonio, Dallas, other places pretty soon. Waiting for everybody to get in. Jam356, what's up? Leisure Picker says hello. Tabor Headings, hello, and yo, and everybody's coming in. So, all right. First thing, NBA Finals tomorrow. Who's pumped? And who is everybody going for? Let me know in the chat. LeBron and the Cavs or KD and the Warriors. Let me know tomorrow. I'm actually pretty pumped about it. But I don't know. I think I'm actually going for Golden State to win, but let's see what happens. Oscar says yo. Aquapro says go Golden State. And let's see, Hayden, what's up? Glenn, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. And Oscar says boo. So talking about NBA Finals. All right, so next thing before we start the show, wanted to talk about a couple of dates coming up. So in 17 days, I will be in Chicago. I got my tickets. I will be in Chicago for literally like a day and a half or two for the reseller rally. That's June 17th. I'll be there. Friday, I'll be flying in, and then I'll be there for the actual event on Saturday. And I think Friday night, if you guys follow 10K on the Bay, he does have I think got like a 50, what did he get? Like some restaurant, I guess, for 50 people. Whoever wants to meet up and talk reselling and eBay and I don't know what else on that Friday before. I will be in Austin, Texas, June 23rd. I'll be in Austin again in July 14th for my brother's wedding, but also for the Green Room meetup. And then confirmed, I will be in Phoenix August 4th, and I'm thinking about doing a meetup there. Probably, I'm thinking if you guys are there in Phoenix, anybody in the chat, or if not, you can comment later. Phoenix, let me know what a good place to meet up. I was thinking Arizona Mills Mall because they do have Marshalls, Ross, and Burlington, and a Nike clearance store all in that one mall. So I was thinking about meeting up there and sourcing, looking around, hanging out. So that would be pretty cool. Next, I will be doing I'm going to announce everything else for like a keynote in Dallas. That would be August 28th. Before that, I'm thinking I'm going to do like a 1-day stop, actually maybe like 1.5-day stop in San Antonio, and that will probably be August 26th. I'll probably be in San Antonio and then go to Dallas, and I'll be back to El Paso. So everything will be vlogged and on this channel. So you guys can see everything, especially when you meet up with different subscribers. Definitely want to get them on the channel and shout out and saying what's up to everybody. So I think that would be pretty cool for those dates. I know that's probably all of this coming up like the next 3 months. So the channel also might be kind of scrambled except for Ross Finds of the Week. I'm going to make sure that's every single Friday. The other days, because I think some of those days I might be out of town, might be able to even do like a live show unless I'm live from at the actual event. So the channel in the next 3 months might be kind of scattered, except for Ross Finds of the Week. I'll make sure that's consistent. Everything else, vlogs, and try to do some live shows. And also I want to do probably like, sourcing videos from the places that I'm at, especially Phoenix, Dallas, Chicago. I don't know if I have enough time. Austin, for sure. I'll do some like Ross videos or show you guys what their Ross and Burlington and all that looks like. And also, I think the 23rd, I will be doing collab video with Chris, the Bonafide Hustler. So we're gonna do some probably like garage sale type of video. So you can look forward to that all coming up next month. All right, so the video and talking about our main topic, top 5 mistakes new eBay sellers make in 2017. And man, there's quite a bit to go to, and I have a good amount of examples also of each one of like each topic, an example from eBay, especially when I started off in the beginning. Like I had to know what I was doing, and I had to pretty much just learn over time. I got better and better at it. Things sell almost daily now, which really helps. And eBay has been very consistent since I've really gotten serious about it. That was probably like 6 years ago, and I really got serious about selling on eBay. I joined in 2000, mostly because like sports cards and stuff. I was younger and I collected and didn't really sell anything. And then of course during like college days, I was really just focusing on graduating, so I really didn't sell a lot on eBay. Then I got really serious about it once student loans came about and I was ready to make money. So let's start off with number 5, which related to Monday's video, which a lot of people said it really helped them. Miscalculating shipping amounts. So here's some of my examples. Number 1, either you offered free shipping thinking it was not going to eat up your profits, and it did. So there's nothing wrong with offering free shipping as long as your profit margins are there. Of course, you guys might see on eBay fast and free shipping. They have things under their title, things like that might bring in customers knowing that it's fast and free. Personally, I like fast and free, not only as a seller, but a buyer too. When I see free shipping, I'm automatically gravitating towards that. All right, cool, free shipping. Let me check out, done. Not have to calculate how much it is plus shipping and see what I want. So usually I just do free shipping as a buyer and a seller. So you might fall into that trap there. You might charge shipping on your store. Maybe you charge, for example, $5.95. That's what you thought shoes is going to cost you. But then someone in New York ends up buying it, and then shipping ended up being $12.95 or $14.95. So really, you should have charged double than that. So that's happened. That happened to me a lot in the very beginning of eBay. Like I was charging really low because that's what I kind of thought. And then I was like, oh man, now I'm really gonna have to eat up these profits on shipping. The last one when it comes to shipping is you allowed international shipping with the free shipping option, and you're not part of the global shipping program. Shipping will, cost a lot of money. I think this happened at the very beginning because they didn't have the global shipping program when I first started. And I still charged shipping back then before that. So I think I charged, what did they buy? I think they did buy shoes at the time, and shipping ended up being, like $45 or something like that. International shipping. And I think I charged like $12.95 or $13.95 or something at the time. So before the global shipping program. And the hard thing too, if you're not in global shipping program, what will kind of hurt too is that you don't really know like when they actually get the item because they're not in the US. So once they go overseas, it's kind of tough to kind of track that. Also, you got to fill out the customs forms and do all that. It is a lot more work if you're not in that global shipping program. So be prepared for high shipping amounts if you're not into it. I'm not going to like discourage people from shipping internationally, but just be prepared for shipping amounts. Even like an envelope priority shipping can easily cost like $25 like for a good size envelope. So be prepared for that. But those are kind of like the 3 examples that people kind of miscalculate on shipping, and it looks like a lot of people got quite a bit out of the Monday's video, just showing, first class shipping and the differences between it when you're shipping out shirts, clothing, things like that. So that's that kind of what happens when you miscalculate shipping. It can really, really burn you if you have some profits that and some ROI that you really want to make. That can definitely mess you up. All right, let me go back to the chat, and then we'll get into number 4. Chat, Kenneth, good to see you here in the chat, and it's gonna be awesome meeting you in Chicago. So that's cool to see you there. The Triple 645 says, "Hey." Oliver says, "I bought the Nike KD Ice and Fire shoes, $44 with tax, hoping to flip it on eBay, but the item is flooded around 60 to 80 bucks with free shipping." Yeah, and I kind of put that item in my thumbnail. If you guys follow me on Facebook, on my Facebook page, I did put that. Oscar says Fire and Ice Kitties for $19.99 in my Ross for size 7. $19.99 I will pick up. I think they were $34.99 at my Ross, and I did pick them up because of the time. I think I picked up 2 pairs 3 weeks ago, maybe. And I was like, man, this looks pretty solid. A lot of good, solid prices across the board. And then it kind of tanked really, really quick. And the thing is, too, is that I'd never seen KD 9s yet at Ross. So I thought I was one of the early ones. And yeah, that happened. And now they're kind of sitting there. I think I got like a low ball offer. That was about it for right now. I really see that shoe kind of tanking because a lot of people ended up finding him, and really I didn't think a lot of people were because I had never seen them, and then now they're all coming up. So yeah, that one is probably going to be you can still make some money on it, but I wouldn't go high and expect. At one point they were selling for like 95 to like 120 range, and I think it's going to be very tough now. Robert, let's see. I bought a board game he told us about. I went to 4 Ross stores and bought 5, already sold 2 and made $150 profit. That's insane. Is that what? Let me see. The item I bought was a toy, but it wasn't a board game. But if it's the same toy, then you will see it this Friday, Ross finds of the week. And yeah, really, really good money from that thing. Let me go back up. Oh man, where am I? Deformity Shot. Yeah, I can't wait for you to start traveling, meet up with Chris. It's gonna be really, really cool. Super pumped to see the vlogs on that. And so that's gonna be cool. Do you have a high return rate? Not really. I try to disclose as much info as possible in my listings and photos and descriptions, which happens to also be part of the mistakes in new eBay sellers make. But for the most part, I don't have a lot of returns. I think the last return I did have actually was one of those Flyknit racers. The pink one, they did return out of those 5 pairs that I sold. But the last couple of items I sold, man, I didn't go back to the completed listings, but like that toy, the Draymond Green shoes, those sold, no return. That was a positive feedback. I sold a Tony Romo jersey that I had for a while from Ross. Positive feedback, no return. So I think the only return lately was from those Flyknit racers. And that was just because they ended up not liking the way they fit, and they returned them, perfectly good shape. So I have those relisted. I sold no returns and starting about the same. That's from a Triple 645. Kenneth, yes, see you in Chi-Town. Zachary, how do you become a global shipper? I think you do have to follow certain guidelines and reach that point. We can probably search it. I was going to go through it right now, but after a certain amount of feedback and you've sold a certain amount of sales, then you can sign up for the global shipping program. I would do that as soon as you can, even if you sell just small items here and there, growing that feedback, getting some more sales, and sign up for that global shipping program. Let me see. Skateboarding Wolf says hi. Alex, what's up, guys? I'm a seller on Amazon and eBay. Want to step up my game. Also, recently started making t-shirt sales on Merch by Amazon as well. Nice. That's what I like to hear. Merch by Amazon, and I think so. The next live video will probably be a Merch by Amazon tips video, and I can answer some questions in the chat. Top polish cleaner to get when you sell your shoe. I do have like the Jason Mark shoe cleaner, but I don't really have like a polish. So I try to clean them up, um, as best as I can for eBay. Let me see. Looking to step up profits across different platforms. Totally agree. Diversity is great with money, making money from different platforms. Totally for that. When are you coming to Denver, Colorado? And that one might be the interesting part. Denver. Me and Yang talked about Denver Merch Minds podcast. If you haven't listened to it, me and Yang talk about merch by Amazon. And we are looking into Denver, Colorado, probably in September. So I'll let everybody know about Denver. But Denver is on the map. Defton, what's up? Do you ever return items back to Ross or Marshalls if they tank on eBay? I haven't done it in probably about a year or so, but I have done it before. And they do keep track of that stuff. So if you do return stuff, I'll probably just keep track of it, know what store you went to. They're gonna ask for your ID and things like that too, but I wouldn't do it too often. Just make some really great buys, and things happen. Bad buys happen. Good buys happen. It's all part of the business, and I wouldn't look deep into returning items if not needed. Camera, what do you use to take for your eBay listing? I actually just use my iPhone. It's just really, really easy just to get pictures, and then they just transfer quickly onto my desktop. So I don't use like my other camera that I use for like filming and stuff. I just use my iPhone. And Robert, yes, it's Mega Blocks. Yep, it is a Mega Blocks item. And now I haven't found any of them. I only found one, and then my video hasn't even came out yet. But that was the only one that I found, which really, really sucks. I was hoping they would get more. I did find more like Mega Blocks items, but they weren't that one. It was like Ninja Turtles and Monster High and other stuff. And I was like, man, this sucks. But I couldn't find it anymore. That was the only one that I found. And all right, man, let me get back up. Just subscribe to your channel. Nice, appreciate it. Zachary, I notice eBay, some footwear people sell with marking. What are your thoughts about not removing and selling? As long as you disclose it, that it has a mark or tear or issue, then I'm all for it. But as long as you put that in the description, you're fine. Mauricio says, great vids in general. Thank you for informative merch vids. Thanks, appreciate it. We'll have more merch videos probably next week. Do you do 60-day returns? 60-day returns really help you with bumping up in the search. When you do offer returns, you will get upgraded eventually with that and a quick turnaround to like a top rated seller. So you will get better percentage when it comes to like fees and things like that. So I do offer returns because eBay is going to want returns anyway. If the customer doesn't like it, they can return it no matter what. So I might as well offer returns and get to a top rated seller. And man, let me go back up. Videos like yours have inspired me into reselling again. That's from Tristan. Appreciate it. A few weeks I've been making more from the side hustle than I do my regular job. Tip videos like these are paying for my college. Nice. Those are the comments I like to hear, because personally I was there. I was there full-time job, and then my side hustle, I made way more money doing eBay stuff than my full-time job, and it happens. And when it does, then you know you're doing something right, and then you can go all in on eBay and other stuff. Man, where am I? All right, Robert. Yes, the Mega Blocks Call of Duty never released 5 when you told us. My wife couldn't believe it. Thank you so much. $150 profit. That's insane. And I did make, I think I sold mine for $130 or something. So you will see that on Friday. That one's a really good Ross finds of the week, because I think it's really, really crazy on that Mega Blocks thing. You're going to be like, what? That toy, really? I have to say it. You should have your own company where you sell your ideas. You have some killer skills. Thanks. That's from Defton. And I'm looking to do, this is another thing too, is like with the Gary Vee thing. I know people are kind of like, hey, what are you going to do with like your knowledge and things like that? So for the people that don't catch this video live, I'm going to also break down like these top 5 things into like minute-long Instagram videos and promote that on Facebook, and also get different just quicker like videos and stuff that I'm making. So stuff's getting there. It's taking time, but I do want to like shorten these things so people, if they want to rewatch it, they don't have to go through the whole live video unless they want to, but because I can talk, more about it. But just like quick top fives and things like that are going to be like on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram at Hustler Hacks, you're going to get some more stuff on there. Let's see. Royal Gamer legit looks for life. He says his name all the time on all my videos, which is good because he is someone that we're talking about in San Antonio, which might be a collab. Let's see. When was the never release thing? Where were they? This is from Diego. This is a Call of Duty playset thing that was never released apparently at the big box stores. Ross gets random items like that Call of Duty set, and it's from Mega Bloks, and they also get like exclusive items. If you ever noticed, Ross and DD's Discounts, they will get exclusive items from Target, Toys R Us. It's supposed to be exclusive toys. Ross gets them when they don't sell well. You never know how the market reacts to it. 6 months, 8 months, a year later, and they sell well. So Ross does that. It's weird, but that was that item. Easiest to sell shoes on eBay or a different platform. Personally, I like eBay. FBA, you can do that, but you have to do brand new with the box and be approved to sell that kind of stuff. You can do Mercari. You can do local Facebook groups if you're like in a big city. I think that's definitely worth it. Not in my city. I have a lot of flakers. They never come through. But if you live in a bigger city and you can sell through OfferUp, Craigslist, or local Facebook groups for shoes, I would definitely do it. And you can do it with Ross finds as well, not just, the big time Kobe, LeBron, Jordan finds or pickups from the mall and stuff like that. You can do it with Ross finds. I've done it with Ross finds locally as well. Man. All right, where am I? Did you ever buy any literature on how to sell on eBay when you started seriously selling 6 years ago? I didn't buy any like guides or anything like that. And to tell you the truth, I didn't buy any guides because I didn't have any money. Like I like struggled to get like I was trying to call my oh, see, Young is calling. Merch Minds podcast we just talked about. He's calling me while I'm doing my live show. So I'll let him know I'm doing a live show. Yeah, I didn't buy anything or any guides when it came to like eBay stuff because I didn't have any money. Like I didn't even have enough money to really buy like a lot of Ross finds at the time because I only had whatever money I had from saving up is pretty much what I had, and even that, like I struggled to even get like $500, and whatever money I did have was just purely going into like garage sales. So like garage sales was like the main thing I really started off first. Garage sales and then swap meets too, but garage sales were like my number one because I could get things for $1 or $2 when I didn't have a lot of money. And then as time went on, then I did invest in things. So I spent the $100 to join the green room. So that helped. And man, he's going crazy here. Hold on, let me just tell him I'm doing a live show. Hey. Damn it. Okay. Sorry, he's gonna keep calling too. So I didn't have enough money to reinvest in things, but over time when I made more money, then I invested $100 in the green room, and then I did buy a couple of guides and stuff to help me out, like on FBA, because I didn't know anything about FBA. So I'm not against buying things, but only if you do have enough money and you want to get into the to learn more and to like also time is money. So if you can speed your way up through like learning eBay and Amazon and FBA and merch, then I'm all for that too, because that's one thing I didn't have too, is like I wanted to make money sooner to pay off these student loans. So if I felt the green room was going to do that for me and I can ask questions, then I was willing to pay the $100 to join at the time. Are Adidas MMD worth buying now and reselling later? Anything that has to do with shoes, I would buy and resell as soon as possible. You can't control the market. You never know what's going to happen. And I don't know. I see a lot of the shoe stuff being flooded over and over again. It's kind of one of the reasons why you saw KD9s already at Ross. They didn't sell well. KD10s are already out. Like, look how quickly colorways, models, shoes are coming out. I would sell immediately and make whatever money you can. If you're making an extra 40 bucks, 50 bucks, 60 bucks per shoe, and then invest that money in another shoe, keep doing that. Pretty much take advantage of the market while you can. Because I wouldn't wait for anything. Okay, let me see. Oh man. All right. Let's get into number 4 and I can go back into the questions because I know people that were like, oh yeah, well, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, go through all that stuff. And at least I can go through the numbers. Let me let them know I'm doing a live show. Okay. Where are my notes? All right, number 4. This is top 5 mistakes new eBay sellers make in 2017. Number 4 is they get lazy with the photos. Let me tell you why and how people get lazy with photos. Number 1, man, this is tough. People have done it and they've had some success with it. I don't recommend it, especially if you're selling shoes and high money things that people want to see different details on it. Is that they use stock photos thinking that that is okay. When you use stock photos from somebody else or another website, either one, they could report you to get it taken down because if they own it, they own the photo, they took the photo, they can get your listing taken down. You don't want to get suspended, none of that stuff. Number 2, with stock photos is that you don't really like your customers don't even actually get to see your actual item because it's just a stock photo. If they actually get to see the shoe, they know it's in your hands, then they get to see, all right, maybe you get to take a picture of the bottom of the shoe. They get to see if they're used or not used. They get to see how they look. They get to see the actual tag. When I was buying, or if I wanted to buy, let's say Jordans, like a Jordan 12 or Jordan 13, especially Jordan 11, if I'm going on eBay, I don't want to see the stock photo stuff because I'm thinking that it might be fake if you're having stock photos. I want to see the real deal. I want to make sure you have it in your hands. And if this is an actual pair of shoes that I'm buying, then when I get them, I can compare the numbers or the box or all of that stuff to make sure it is the exact item that I bought. And customers look at this kind of stuff. And if you're using stock photos, you might turn people off and they don't really want to buy that item because they might even think that they're getting a fake item or you don't even have the item. So don't do stock photos. Number 2, they get lazy by not getting, you don't even have to do lighting. Like I have lighting here or lighting up here. You don't have to buy any of that stuff. I used to take pictures pretty much in my parents' kitchen where they had just quite a bit of lighting. I would just put like a sheet over the counter and take pictures of it. As long as I got a decent amount of lighting, then I'm good. And then you can see every detail of the shoe or item that you're listing. Another thing I would do is just perfectly good timing part of the day, lighting coming in through the window, have good lighting, then cool. Then I don't have to buy lighting or anything like this. This is like later on. If I want to reinvest in eBay in my business, then I'll do that. But if I don't have any money to spend, then whatever great lighting I have, I'll take advantage of that, especially free lighting from the sun. Then I'll take advantage of that too and use that. And the third example, how they're lazy with photos, they don't include marks or stains or rips. And this has happened a lot, especially with shoes or with clothing. You can even do this. Like if there's a stain on the shirt, like for example, you can just point at it with a pen if you wanted to, at least to show you, hey, right here on this P, there is a stain or it's torn or something, to at least people can see it. But if you're going to try to sell that your shirt is brand new or there's no stains at all and you don't have any of those details in the photos, then that's going to be a huge problem. That's how people start with the returns and you get into bad feedback and things like that. So I would always include any type of defect, stains, marks, or rips in your photos. Doesn't matter if it's shoes, doesn't matter if it's shirts, any item, include that in there. All right, Jose says, what's up? Dirty Harry Films says, hey, Glenn. Elvis, what's up? What was the spy says, who does stock photos? I know, but trust me, I have gotten emails and people asking me about stock photos. I have mannequins, backdrop, but still working on the lighting kit. And that takes time too. Like I wouldn't, especially over time and selling stuff on eBay, I wouldn't just go all out and buying a whole bunch of things if you don't need it yet. But you'll know when the right time is. Like if you're building up your store, hey, you know what? It is time to invest in a backdrop or lighting or mannequins or something like that. You'll know when it's the right time and you have enough money to reinvest. But especially right off the bat, if you don't need any of that, I wouldn't worry about it. Let's see, go back up. Thank you so much, Glenn. Garage sales are great. Live in a huge city, so good. Ross finds, now the whole chat thing went up, so I kind of lost that one. But at least I read a little bit about that. Where'd you find the most soccer cleats? Ross, Burlington has been killing it lately. Unfortunately, not in my area, but like Kenneth and like Ray, we've talked about in the chat, they've been killing it at Burlington with the cleats. I'll see Kenneth says here, Burlington fine, Foamposite Pro Pearl from the class 97 sold for $300, bought it for $49.99. Yeah, Burlington, man, is crazy in certain parts. Not in my city, they've been kind of low, but Burlington has been crazy in other parts of the U.S. So congrats to you, Kenneth and Ray, and everybody else that's been dominating out there in different cities at Burlington. Let's see, Slice Work, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Alex, what is a green room, and do you recommend it now? That's a good question, and I'm not a guy that's going to be lying to everybody and telling everybody that just because I spent money on it, it's the greatest thing in the world. If it's something is good, I'll let you guys know. If it's crappy, I'll let you know. The green room now that I've learned a lot and sold a lot in different platforms, I wouldn't put in money now. Back then, when I didn't know much and I really wanted to learn money, how to make money on eBay and Amazon, especially when I didn't know anything about Amazon, yeah, I would put in the money for it. So I'd probably recommend it for newbies. If you are intermediate to advanced seller and you're pretty much up there, you're consistently selling, and unless you want to get into another platform, then that might be good for you too. Like FBA, if you don't know anything about FBA, then that could help you. But I think if you've been kind of doing it and you've been learning more and more over time, I wouldn't spend the money on it. I'd probably spend the money on something else. Even like private coaching, I'd probably spend the money on. If it's someone or something that that you really, really do believe in, or someone that you do trust, or someone that has a good following, or anything like that that you know is proven, then I'm all for that too. It's Robert. Are you ready to sell me your Yeezys? I know they're there. They're still there. I even cleaned up somewhat this back area. Let's see, man. Keep up the good videos. That's from Rhino LA. I think someone said, might have been the same person. Would you think about willing to move to Los Angeles to further your career? I wouldn't move to LA, not because I wouldn't want to, but because of cost of living in California. I wouldn't live over there. I wouldn't live in, like Yang tells me he lives in San Jose, California. His cost of living is crazy. So for the same amount that he pays for, I have a custom like home that me and my wife were able to pretty much kind of figure out where we wanted things and everything in El Paso, because cost of living is way lower. But I will visit these areas, and I'm totally for flying out and meeting subscribers or doing conferences and other things like that. So I wouldn't live there, but I definitely would visit and try to do more things. Kenneth, nice. Right here in the chat. I know we got to catch up too. That's what's gonna be good, Kenneth. Meeting up in Chicago. That'd be really cool. A lot of good business talk. And wait, last question. Gary V or Ty Lopez? Well, that's easy. Gary V, because I met the man and I have vlogs meeting the man. So Gary V, 110%. Nike Outlet, 30% off was great for me this weekend. Air Force One flying it. All Stars, $40, sold for lowest 120. Nice work, slice work. Killing it with the Nike Outlet 30% off clearance. Casey Snipes says, move to LA to become an actor? Question mark. Possibly. I think, well, that's a totally different market. So I think to become an actor, things like that, New York and LA, I think you'd probably need to be there. But even with the social media, the way things work now with platforms, like you can be huge on YouTube, or even some people that were huge on Vine, and then they got like offers and stuff. So I think that's the beauty of the internet, right? Like you probably don't even need to move to places if you have a huge following and you're consistent with content, and anything can happen with any of that stuff. Ty Lopez is a scam. Danny Ryder says Ty Lopez is a scammer. If you bought Ty Lopez's, what does he have? Like steps, 40 steps or 60 steps, or I don't know what he has, something like that. Let me know in the chat, but hopefully not, because I don't know if it's good or not, but I never bought anything that Ty Lopez has ever done. Dirty Harry Films, ever heard of Jump Cut? I did, but I didn't really look into all the details. I'm gonna have to look back to it and see. Patrick Starr, can you resume the top 5 mistakes? Yes, I can. Thank you, because we got cut up. All right, number 3. Lame or lack of descriptions on eBay. And these will kill people, especially the new eBay sellers. All right, here are my examples of lame or lack of description. In your description, you do not include the size or color or shape or weight or anything that has to do with the item. So I've seen this too, and honestly, I've even made this mistake to where, especially if I'm trying to list a bunch of things all at once, if you didn't include the size at all, that's going to be a huge problem. I've seen where I've tried to buy like champion jerseys. Sometimes the champion jerseys, like the bottom tag could get ripped off. It could get torn off. So some people don't have the size, and I go to listing and there's no size in the description as well. I'm like, oh man, well, this doesn't help me. And not only that, some people do it. I personally do it when it comes to t-shirts. I'll do the measurements, width and length, just so also I can eliminate questions coming from customers through the messages. You know, people have asked me how wide this is, what's the length on it. If I already have it in the description, it saves me time. I don't have to go back and answer questions on it. Some people don't include that at all. So if you didn't include any of that stuff in the descriptions, then that's really going to slow down your sales, because people are going to wonder, what size is that? It doesn't even say. The second one is with your descriptions, you actually have a totally different, I've actually done this, a size on your title, a size on your picture, and then a different size in your description. And I think one thing that happened with me was that I had a shirt, and I think, so I had variations because I bought like 3 or 4 different ones. So on the picture, I had one that was a size large. You can clearly see it on the photo. But since I was selling a variation of it on my title, I had a size medium. And then I think in the description, it ended up being, I think I had a measurement for a different one, because I had all 3 measurements already out. So in that case, that does happen, but don't have different sizes on all 3 of those: the description, the photos, and the titles. And last, they don't include the super details, this could be the same thing with the photos, which are like the items are torn, or ripped, or straight up these shoes smell like ass. That happens too. If they're worn, you have to include like all the details, especially if they're worn. Like worn shoes will, like that thing always happens. If they're worn, try to make sure, hey, toe box is creasing. Hey, the bottoms are kind of worn out. They're kind of fading away. That happens too a lot. Even if like the shoelaces are dirty or torn or messed up, always include those details in the description. You don't want to leave any of that stuff out. You're leaving yourself open to returns. So make sure you put that in there. All right. And not a lot of questions in the chat, so that's good. Now we can go to the next one. Number 2, you lose track of items, and you can physically lose track of items. You can also lose track of how much you paid for the items, and you can also lose track of the size if you bought multiple of that one item. So here are my examples of losing track of your items. Your item sold, and now you can't find it. And this happens a lot, especially if you are a little messy, a little dirty, and you have shoes that you thought you left them in a different room. Or you have to figure out your system on what works for you, because if not, you're going to be hunting down items in your own house over and over and over again. That's going to be wasting time. And I think so. When I lived with my parents, I had items in like my brother's old room. I had items. We had like this sunroom area. I had items in there, and then I also had items in like the washer dryer room area. So doing something like that does not help. But when in the very beginning, which I had stuff all over the place. So when something sold, I was like, man, now I gotta find it. So like I would try to do like, all right, electronics are in this room, clothing's in this room because I can actually hang them up. And then like video games and other randomness are like in another room, which I kind of keep track of that mentally. But now, especially not only just moving into the house, but and being into this house, I have all my items in this room, which you can keep track of it. But in the very beginning, if your things are kind of scattered, try to keep things in one room. Try to keep it organized and neat. And you don't want to have to hunt down items. This has happened too, to where like you have to like step over stuff. And when you do, you finally get to the closet to like get that one shirt out. And then instead of carefully doing it, one time I was just like, screw it. There's a shirt. Pulled it. And then like the whole tag ripped off. The original tag that came with the shirt ripped off. So that didn't help me. So if you're organized and you're not going over items and trying to find them and going through that mess, that has happened. Number 2, losing track of items and how much you paid for it. And that is, you took a best offer and now you don't remember how much you paid for the item. So, and then plus shipping comes into play. Now you're not really making money on your item. And I always keep track of how much I paid for every single item in one of these books. Well, this one actually. But in this book, I keep track of how much I've spent on every single item. I also keep track on my phone. So when you're out and about, you're even if you're at a party or something and someone gives you a best offer, you're like, oh crap, this item could sell. How much did I pay for that again? If you don't remember, and then you're taking a best offer, that kind of sucks too. But it's also good when someone does give you a best offer that you respond as quickly as possible, because they're super interested in your item. You can counter offer ASAP. More than likely, they're going to accept, or they'll do another counter offer. But if you're lazy and you're like, oh man, I don't remember how much I spent on that item, now I got to look it up, then you're going to wait until you get home. You might forget about it. Time goes by. By the time you send your counter offer, that customer is already not interested in your item and probably went to go look for another similar item that they could just do a simple offer or buy it now, and they can just go and get their item already. So don't waste a lot of time with that stuff, wondering how much you paid for it and remembering that. And the last thing is you lose track of your items just physically when it comes to sizes, especially if you're buying. My example would be like the Puma pink dolphin collab jersey thing that some people have found at Ross. I bought 3 of them. I bought 1 small and 2 large. This has happened a lot too with new eBay sellers. You kind of forget which sizes you had, especially if the item doesn't sell, the item ends, you relist that item and you forget to change the quantities. Sometimes it will relist with the same quantities you had before. If that happens too, and you sold 1 of those and you only have 2 left, but yet your item has on there 3 items total, you have to keep track of what you have in your inventory and what sizes you have, so you're not lost and people are or someone buys something and you can't fulfill the order because you lost track of what sizes you had and you don't remember any of that stuff. All right, so before we get to number one, let's get into the live chat real quick, answer some questions. A645 clothes are so much easier. Totally agree. And cheaper to ship out. Senor, what? Juez YouTube on fire with these tips. Very good. Thank you. Casey Snipes, 2 thumbs down from the Ty Lopez fans. Do you recommend putting the UPC number in the list of items? If your item is brand new and you can put in the UPC, I would recommend it. Easier for people to find. If it's a used item, I wouldn't go through finding out what that UPC was, or if you don't have the original box, or if it is an older vintage item, I wouldn't worry about the UPC stuff. Only if it's brand new and it's something very simple. You already have the tag with you because you have the shirt with you. Cool, enter it in. It won't hurt. But you don't have to go through obstacles to make sure you have the UPC on there. That's funny. Scott's, how many pairs of Nike New Air? What Kofefes are you trying to flip? And thinking about that with Trump and his tweet, how many Merch by Amazon t-shirts are already on there with Trump's tweet? It's crazy. Oh, there you go, man. This is crazy. Okay. PK1234, $100 for dead stock. Jordan 1 metallic navy, a good deal. That's retail on them, by the way. Probably to keep, but probably not to resell. And that's the thing too, is like with how many colorways and models are out there, it's just doing your homework and double checking. You don't want to be left with stuff. Let's see. Dirty Hair Films, good point. Do you make minimum best offers when you set up the listing? Most of the time I do, because you hate those lowball offers that come in. This is kind of funny, but I don't even know why a kid does this. If it was a kid, sometimes people just do this and make up random stuff. You'll get a best offer and it's like $1 for like a $50 shirt. And it says like, well, this is all the money I have right now. Or someone actually buys the item and they send you a message. Sorry, my son was playing with my phone and he accidentally sent you 3 best offers on an item and now he can't pay. Dumb stuff always happens like that. But I always do like a minimum, especially if it's a high selling item. I don't want to deal with low ballers, $1, $10 for something that's really, really expensive. So I would do it. Saves you time. You don't have to respond to a lot of those. Scott's comments are hilarious. So yeah, it has to do with Trump's tweet if you want to look it up. PK1234, will having the original box affect the selling price of used sneakers? I think having the original box does help you, but also depends on the model. If you have a pair of Jordan 11s, Bred 11s that someone's like, hey, do you have the original box for it? Because maybe they do collect the box, then that does come into play. But if you don't have the original box and you got them for cheap, like let's say the swap meet, you paid $9.99. Oh, not $9.99. 10. That's swap meet. $10, $15 for shoes. Then I wouldn't worry about having the original box because you're going to make the money from it anyway. But if they're slightly used, some people might even ask for the receipt. If they're really, really high priced sneakers, then yes. But I wouldn't worry about it if you're going buying low and selling high. And have you ever considered hiring someone to grow your eBay and Amazon business while you focus on your designs? That's a good question. And I have thought about it, and it might not be something down the road until maybe me and the wife have kids or something, because I probably wouldn't have her working at that point. I don't know. I really don't believe in paying for like daycares and stuff like that. So she would probably be home with the first kid, and while she's there, hey, can you take some pictures of these items? So I don't know. I haven't really talked to her about everything yet, but if I was going to hire somebody, it would probably be the wife. Let's see. What formula do you use to calculate net profit per item? I just use my basic calculator to find out, and I just do it really, really quick. how much am I spending per the item, how much would shipping more or less cost on this item, and yeah, how much am I spending, how much can I sell it for, what's the lowest I'm probably going to get on this item, what's the highest I can get. But as long as I'm making 40% ROI on this item, then I'm fine. I'm good with it. That's the fine profit that I can work with. And if I can make more, then obviously that's a bonus, and I like making more, but 40% is the lowest I'll go ROI. Do you go to Nike outlet stores the days off, like Memorial Day on the weekends, special discounts? That'd be nice to watch in the video. I do, but sometimes I've noticed is that Nike outlet will do this, is that they'll have special discounts. You go and it's like the same items that were already there are now higher priced so that you can get 30% off, even though they were already there before and they were a lot less. I've seen this with, like, my example was like LeBron 13, the All-Stars. They had them for at one point $69.99 on a regular day. And then like on a Memorial Day sale or something like that, or a certain holiday, it's like, oh, 30% off this shoe or even your total purchase. Now the LeBron 13 All-Stars are $99.99. So they'll do this to just kind of not confuse you, but they try to get in your head, hey, you're saving money when you're not. If you would have just gone on a regular day before these discounts, you would have seen that LeBron 13s were already $69.99. So I probably could do a video off and on, but I've seen the prices go up and down when it comes to the outlet stuff. Nike clearance store, though, which they do have one in Phoenix, is a totally different thing, where the clearance stores are kind of like their last chance type of things, and they let things go for really, really cheap. So I'm pretty pumped to go there when I go to the Phoenix one. I want to see what they have there. We will see that in one of the vlogs. I think that would be really, really cool to see what they have at their clearance store and not just a regular outlet store that I have here in El Paso. And let me see. What is the most common scams from shoe buyers on eBay, and how do you prevent them? That's a tough one. Scams. They would probably try to return. All of it have to do with returns, obviously, because you can't screw the system with PayPal once you go through that. But if they try to do a return, they might try to return fakes. That's why keeping track of as many photos as possible of your certain item. And one thing that really, really helps you is any small detail that you can include on there that shows that it's yours will help you. Even for high priced items, some people have actually done this and it has helped. They'll actually film a quick video of them actually shipping out the item. Here's the shoe. Here's the shoe box. Here's the box it went in. Here's the label. This is the exact shoe that they got. So whenever they try to pull that kind of stuff on you, and you can definitely fight it. And if you have proof of not only photos, but of receipt, if you happen to have it, and original box or the inside tag or things like that, you can keep in mind, then those things will help you. eBay can take your side. That person could get a refund, but eBay more than likely will pay you for that. And so you're not going to lose the money from it. They've gotten better when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it happens. And yeah, Kenneth says take photos of the OG shoe box, a shoe size tag. That helps you take a video on a return when opening the return item. So exactly, once you get that shoe box in, well, actually the full box in, you can do a quick video of you opening up. Hey, here's a return label. Here's what they sent me. Let's open it up. Here it is. Fakes or real or nothing like that. So that can help you. Skylar says hi. Victor says better late than never. What's up, Glenn? All right. Top 5 mistakes new eBay sellers make in 2017. I can't even talk. Our number 1 mistake: they overspend, they overbuy, and they're not doing the research, and they go all out. And this also could be part of my channel with showing a lot of Ross finds. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of Ross finds out there that will make you money. But keep in mind, which I've talked about before, I didn't start off with Ross finds. I did it once in a while because I didn't have a lot of money to invest. Garage sales, swap meet was the first thing. Eventually, I went on to like thrifting, Savers, Goodwill, Family Thrift Center, those stores. Ross, I went once in a while, but not until I really had more money to reinvest in items. Then I really, went all in on Ross finds, especially buying, let's say, 2 or 3 pairs of something, clothing, maybe buying 3 or 4 t-shirts or something like that, but I didn't have the money. So some people do this when they don't have enough money to invest in things, and going all out, like on Ross, Marshalls, Burlington. I would still go to those stores. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't go all in on buying like shoes that are $74.99 right off the bat, or $65 right off the bat, if you don't really know a whole lot about it. The next thing is, my next example, I would say, well, that was probably actually that I kind of already talked about it from the last one, is that overbuying items and overpaying for items if you don't have enough money. So, buying low, selling high, always good for new resellers, and just trying out that market first, learning how to sell, learning how to buy from actual people. I also gotten like a different amount of emails from people that and this it totally makes sense. You know what, Glenn? I'm kind of shy on going to garage sales. This has happened where I've gotten emails from people. How do I overcome that? Um, I don't. I guess there's a couple of reasons why they might be shy. Number one, this is just mindset, honestly. That if you're shopping at a garage sale and even at thrift stores, that people assume that you are poor or that you don't have enough money and you're going to these things um, to buy used clothing or used items from other people. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Even if you did have a lot of money, there still isn't anything wrong with that. And a lot of people can save money by doing this, even if you did buy used clothing from any store or garage sale. Um, so if you honestly care about what other people think, then you probably have never ever um, taken any risks ever. Because if you're honestly going to think about whatever people think, I'm making YouTube videos like that. That was just like, that takes a whole nother thing to get in front of camera and do things, much less just going to garage sales, period. And there was a time too where me and my friend, which we're trying to get back into the garage sale thing. I think he's ready to go since he got summer off from school finally, since he's a teacher. Hopefully we can get more like garage sale videos coming in soon. But there was a time too where like we ended up finding somebody that we knew from high school. He was the dude having the garage sale. We didn't know until we got off the car, but he was the guy having the garage sale. And I was just like, hey, what's up? Like, yeah, I'm here buying your stuff, but like, I really don't care. And if you think that I don't know, being cheap or that I don't have any money to buy any new things or whatever, then cool. You can think whatever you want to think, but I'm here and I want to buy something. And well, since we knew the guy, we didn't like lowball him on stuff or anything like that, but we did get hooked up on different things and he was really cool about it. So that happens. So the fear of just getting out of the car, people might have that fear of getting out, but I wouldn't worry about what other people think or say. You're not going to know until you try and get off and see what they actually have. So buying low, selling high, I would always do this in the very beginning so you can get the highest ROI from your finds. The next thing, let me see, the next thing or next example, I'd say overspending, overbuying, not doing research, is you assumed something was going to sell well at Ross just because it was shiny, it looked cool. This happened a lot through emails for LeBron 13s, especially for the kids ones. People are like, Glenn, how come this isn't selling? And I'm like, man, well, even the LeBron 13 adult men's shoes aren't even selling. So it's going to be a little bit harder to sell the kids ones. But you saw it. It looked cool. It was LeBron shoe. Hey, this shoe looks cool. Like maybe I should get this, but you didn't actually do the research on the item. Um, if you don't do the research on the item, you're going to be stuck with it and or returning it. And I wouldn't assume just because something is a LeBron shoe or is a Kobe shoe that it is going to sell well. You don't know unless you do the full research on that item. And the last mistake is that a lot of people, what I've noticed too, like new sellers, that they start off selling really, really high priced items instead of starting off kind of slow and just making a little money here and there, making progress, getting your feedback up, getting used to the platform, and getting better at it. Instead, they're going all out. Well, I want to start off by selling, LeBrons that just came out at the mall. I spent $200 on them. I'm gonna sell them for 280. That's the first thing I want to buy and resell. Like, why would you go all out and do that first? Start off with the slower items. And slower, I mean by like items that you're spending less money, and maybe they're not going to have a high turnaround and sell immediately, but at least you're just building up your store, you're building up feedback, and you're getting those customers to kind of trusting you. You might even get some followers on your store. Things like that take time. I wouldn't go all in, especially with high priced items right off the bat. And this happened with other new sellers that they ended up getting like suspended, or people or eBay might even ask you for like receipts and stuff, because a lot of the high priced items are often faked. Like these headphones, a lot of people they have like not officially licensed Apple stuff. That happens too. So people are selling knockoffs of Jordans, of purses, of sunglasses, Oakleys, of Beats by Dre headphones. I wouldn't go and sell those items first if you're a beginner. Um, Even if you do have the money, build up your feedback, build up your store, and focus on that stuff first. Get used to the platform, get used to taking pictures, get used to having great descriptions. They take time. There's no rush. As long as you're making progress, then you're good. All right, so that was top 5. We will review it at the very end. Let's talk to the people here in the live chat, like Clearing Claire for Clarity. She says hi. And Tanya Thrifty Treasures is in the house, says hi. And let me go back up. Let's see. So who do you have for the finals and why? I have Golden State in, let's see, maybe 6. I'm going to say Golden State in 6. Why? Because KD is going to get his first ring. And I do believe that they have the talent to beat LeBron and everybody else. Only thing is that I will tell you this, without Kyrie, I don't know where this team would be. Even in the last 2 years, I think Kyrie is like extremely underrated. LeBron isn't overrated because he's very, very talented and he deserves the credit he deserves. But I truly believe Kyrie does too. Kyrie, man, is a crazy point guard. So that's my response to that. Let's see, can you explain the 40% rule really quick? So yes, 40%. If I go to Ross, I'm spending $49.99 on a pair of shoes, like those Draymond Green shoes. They were $49.99. With tax, they came out to $54.11. I want to make sure I'm going to make at least 40% or more profit after fees, after shipping from this item. If I make that amount, then it is a successful sale for me, and I can make that money and I can reinvest that money into something else. So 40% of that, I need to make at least $21.64 or more after fees, after shipping. That's the most important thing though. After fees, after shipping, not including any of that stuff, because then you're going to make a lot less. So that's what I mean, 40% or more on your item for at least for Ross finds. When it comes to I'm telling you, when it comes to garage sales and thrifting stuff, more than likely you're going to make way more than 40% because you're spending a lot less money. And let me go back up. Lately, Burlington coat has lower prices than Ross. I know Burlington has been insane, but not in my area. But I'm going to keep hunting. Tanya, let's see, never crossed my mind. I guess, about garage sales. Means you're smart and thrifty. And trust me, if you're smart and thrifty, then you're also not going to spend a lot of money on the stuff you don't need. And you're going to see that, like, hey, this shirt is pretty cool. I'm going to get it from here and things like that. So, Victor, reinvest your money. That's one big one as well. Don't just make a little bit of money and buy yourself a pair of J's, like you said, one time. Exactly. Don't. You have to reinvest that money into more items to make more money. And this has happened too. We're like, oh man, I just made $100 this weekend. Now I'm going to go to the bar and drink. That's not going to help you in your business. It's not going to help you make more money. It's just going to be a big waste. Whether you're buying Jordans, clothing, beer, food, it's not helping you in your business. And everybody says hi. And I like going dressed down at garage sales so they don't try to up the prices. Easier for me to haggle the seller. Yeah, that's a really good tip. That's probably for another garage sale video as far as like how you're dressed. So you wouldn't show up wearing your Gucci sandals to the garage sale. You wouldn't show up baller status in any of your stuff. You'd be just regular, unless your garage sales in Austin. Like when I went with Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, you don't have to dress down for anything. Everybody's just cool in general. There's even garage sales where they were like, hey, like, here's some cookies and tea while you shop. I'm like, I've never seen this ever, especially in El Paso. I'm like, dude, you better see whatever you find and get out of there as quickly as possible because people have their own little piles already and you better hurry up. Let's see. How do you identify shoes you've never seen before at Ross and other shoes? Like if it's less common. You don't. And if you go to Ross more than 3-4 times a week, you're going to see the same shoes over and over and over again. So what's a good thing you can do is you can take a picture, keep that separate file or folder in your phone. And hey, these are the Ross finds that I found in the last week. You can write a little note on them. These aren't worth picking up. I already looked them up in the market. They're not worth picking up and selling and reselling. This was the price, at a certain Ross, $49.99. Because the weird thing is, the next thing you know, you go to a different Ross, and then the KD9s are not $49.99. They're $19.99, which somebody else found them obviously here. And while some people might be $39.99, and that's the case, that's going to be totally different. But at least you have it tracked in your folder with a photo that, hey, this wasn't worth picking up for this price. I've seen it. You're going to see it again and again. And hey, I haven't seen this shoe before. Look it up, see what it's selling for, take a picture of it, or you can even have in a separate folder for, hey, these are the really, really good Ross finds that have been doing very, very well for me. Here they are all lined up in my phone. I can keep track of them. That can definitely help you in that case. Casey Snipes says 40% is tough for me. My business stinks. You can also, I've seen people do as low as like 25% profit, which you're still making money, which probably could happen when it comes to Ross finds. But when it comes to maybe like regular thrifting finds, things like that, I wouldn't go that low. More than likely, you're going to make more money. Big Money Bobby says, just saw you in Gary Vee video. Pretty cool. Nice. And Morgan Hill says, do you recommend paying for an eBay store or keeping a regular amount if you keep less than 50 items? I would keep that going as long as you'll know when it's time to upgrade when you're like depending on those free listings, when they have like those little discounts once in a while, like per month. If you're depending on those free listings, which I was at one point, I was like, man, all right, you know what? I better just invest in the next like store things. So I don't have to deal with free listings and wondering when the next deal is going to pop up. And then, all right, it's time to step up. I'm getting more inventory in. Then I'll get the next, store option. So, all right. So top 5 mistakes new eBay sellers make in 2017. Let's review them. Number 5, miscalculating shipping amounts. And check out Monday's video if you're still kind of confused on shipping, especially with clothing. First class, priority, there's a difference. Make sure you watch that video and make sure you have a set amount what you're doing with shipping. You don't want to lose out on money and profits. Number 4, they get lazy with photos. They use stock photos right off the bat. Do not use stock photos. They don't include the photos that have certain rips or stains or marks. Make sure you include that in your photos. Number 3, lame and or lack of descriptions. They do not include the size and or measurements. They include different details if the item was torn. Include that in your description. Trust me, the customer wants to know. Number 2, they lost track of your items. Either physically, they can't find it after they sold. You took a best offer, but not really knowing how much you actually paid for that item. So you lost track of how much you actually spent. You lost track of the size. If you bought multiples of that one item, you lost track. I have 2 XLs. Instead, I had more than what I could actually sell. That happens. Don't lose track of your items. And number 1, overspend, overbuy, and not doing the research. Buying low and selling high is always the way to go. If you can do that with garage sales in the very beginning and swap meets, things like that, I would definitely do it instead of going all in on Ross finds or even going all in on expensive items like Beats by Dre headphones or Jordans from the mall or Supreme. Going all out, I would wait. Build up your feedback, build up your store, get familiar with the platform. Things take time, but you're trying and you're building it up slowly but surely. That's the top 5 mistakes new eBay sellers make in 2017. Last live chat before we leave. Do you play Xbox? No, I do not. I do not have any time. Casey, do you pass on sneakers if you calculate only 30% profit? Just depending how the market is. If I'm going to be competing with a lot of people, then I'll probably pass on it. But if it's an easy 30%, it looks like it's going to be an easy 30% profit on it. Cool, I'll take it. But I want to make sure that it's there. I'm going to lose out on stuff, but I'll definitely do that if I can. If it's less than 40%, I wouldn't pass on profit if it is there. And sometimes eBay give me 500 free listings. Yeah, for 24 hours. That always happens too, right? So a lot of those deals come up here and there. Casey, yeah, eBay gives you a taste for a short time, so you can get that store. Exactly. Dirty Harry Films. I hope you incorporate that teal unicorn from one of your videos in Hustler Hacks logo someday. I know, right? I need to find that unicorn thing. Actually, do sell them on eBay. That'd be kind of cool. And Gabriel says, got it. Victor says, come to LA. And California was also on the map, but me and Young are trying to figure that out when it comes to like merch stuff. I think Merch by Amazon, Chris Green is also trying to work with like a conference for merch, and that would be in Seattle. So maybe if I go California, meet up with Young in that area, and then I go to Seattle, then that'd be pretty cool too. So I don't know. We're going to think about that and try to work in the schedules in different places. So that's it. That is it for our live chat and a live video. Let me know what you think about it and hit that like button if you can. Helps me out if you like the video, and I'll try to do some little cut ups so people don't have to watch the full video all over again if they haven't caught the live chat. So Jeanette says Philly. Casey says if you're in NYC again, for sure. My wife loved New York, so if I can go back over there, that'd be really, really cool. I loved it too. Like, I thought New York was really awesome. And Bright Force says hi, y'all. LA Henna says hi, just got here. Sorry, but I know we're finishing the live video, but you will see the video right now when we're done. It'll be uploaded again, and you'll see the top 5 mistakes. So thanks, guys, for watching this video. Green Granny Resale, thank you. Morgan Hill, thank you. Kenneth, thank you. I'll see you in Chicago in 17 days. And anybody else in Chicago, please let me know. Email me hustlerhacks1 at gmail.com. And 10K on the Bay is doing a meetup the night before for pizza and drinks, and I don't know what else. So if you're in the Chicago area, please try to go to his Instagram on the link. It's like a $25 ticket for, I guess, I don't know if it's unlimited pizza, but that comes with it. But at least you get to hang out. Kenneth will be there. I will be there. Chris, 10K on the Bay, will be there, and other people as well. So that'd be pretty cool. Thanks, guys, again. And Friday, Ross finds of the week. You guys will see that that a Call of Duty Mega Blocks set that is selling for a crazy amount of money. Thanks, guys, again. go out and get it.